Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we are returning to a Let's Play of War in the West. We are playing as the Allies and we have not just landed at Anzio, but we've also landed behind Rome at this province here that I cannot pronounce at all. So we're going to land here behind the German lines while we're trying to break through in the north where we've encircled some Germans. We've landed at Anzio. We are pushing them out of here, so things are really going our way in November 1943, so a little bit ahead of time actually. So I want to see what the Germans are going to do, how they are going to react to this turn in the upcoming week. But before we do that, there's one more thing that I almost forgot, and that is we've got the 1st British Airborne Division, and these guys are going to try to land over here, so let's set them up, let's have them launch over here. You know what, I think these things are fine. They're going to lose some men over here. One aircraft has been shot down or something as they were landing. So that is okay. The question is, where are they landing precisely? I would love to leave... Yeah, they are actually landing here in these hills. And that is very, very good for us because that is exactly where I wanted to have them. So that is fairly nice and fairly good for us actually. So that is good so far. Let's also try to land the... slightly unsupplied, but it will sort itself out hopefully. 509th US Parachute Regiment. So these guys are a little bit not quite as good, but let's drop them over there with these sky trains here, and hopefully they're going to land in the designated hex as well. These guys might actually be in a lot of trouble if they don't. But let's see, 44 men are lost as they are making the drop over here, and they are landing precisely where we want them to. So that's actually super nice, because that means, well, the Germans can react now, but we have the chance of potentially cutting them off kind of badly. I would expect that they are counter-attacking, but let's see what's going to happen. I'm very, very intrigued. Let's hit the end turn button here. No, wait, before we do that, actually, no. You know what? Let's, ammo, that's fine. Yeah, units attached. All of this is fine. Come on. Can I just get back to supply, please? Experience? No. Yeah, there we go. Okay. End turn here. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm really intrigued to see what the Germans are going to do here. This is always so tempting to see how they are reacting. Will they be defeating us over here? Will they be pulling back completely? Okay, so we are landing over here. That's nice. We've got a foothold over here, and we've actually cut a couple of these rail lines now too, so that is nice. Germans are flying a lot of missions here, not the worst so far, but are they going to attack? That's the big question. They might pull back as well. Ooh, interesting. So they are trying to push out of here. We've remember, we've done this encirclement over here, and they are attacking with the full infantry division here, some Armenians that are attached to that, some Ost infantry battalion, and these tanks. They have not managed to push through yet. We lost about 200 men and 14 tanks, but we have held, so that is nice to see. They are attacking again. Are we going to hold again, or are we going to be pushed back this time? No, we are still holding, and they are actually losing more men here than we did. So that's very, very nice to see. Some good defensive action over here. I'm extremely happy about that. Oh, just look at that. Jesus, what is happening? What's going on over here? So it is now our turn. So yeah, let's see what is going to happen over here. I'm really intrigued now. It seems like the Germans did pull back there, if I'm not mistaken. And by the way, notice there is some snow now in the Gran Sasso mountain range there. So look at that. Actually, Germans losing more men than we have. And we're actually at -6 victory points. That's the best that we have been in a while. And yes, the Germans, ladies and gentlemen, have withdrawn from southern Italy. They've given up on Rome, actually. And they are trying to build a defensive line now north to our landings over here. So absolutely baffling. We've got a good number of divisions down here that can now try to break out of this a little bit. I'm afraid that the weather is still not great down here, is it? That's actually relatively fine, isn't it? Clear, dry, temperate, lovely. So that means we can potentially advance a little bit here as well. We must be careful. We must not allow them to dig in again, but let's see whether we can't do anything about that. It's intriguing that they... I mean, Honestly, I'm not sure whether the AI is cheating. How can they pull back units so far to over here? I know for sure that the second Mega Division had been around over here. They must have put them on rail systems, brought them all the way over. No, I call bullshit on that, sorry. This is an enormous amount of strategic mobility. We never have that. Is the AI cheating here a little bit, my friends? Do you know that? I would be very intrigued. Okay, there's no chance that we're going to break through over here in the north. This is already way too strong. A Mega and Panzer Grenadier Division? No, that's going to block our way. Another Mega Division up over here? No, not going to work either. A full Panzer Division here? They have a lot of troops here in the north. The question is, at this point, if they are going to keep up such a strong defensive line over there, I'm not sure whether we are really going to try to push further into the north here. It would be nice. It would be nice to get that port here, threaten them in multiple directions here. But just ultimately, I'm not sure. I mean, what is our strategic objective? Let's take a step back over here and think about why we're doing that. On the one hand, of course, we just want to do some damage against the Germans. We want to cut off Germans, and we want to reduce their fighting strength before we land in France in early 1944. But there's a limit to that. We are the attacker. We typically take more damage than they do. Taking damage is more of a victory point hit for us than it is for them. So I don't want to take undue risks. I don't want to push just for the sake of pushing, but where, it is advantageous to us. Crossing a river against such firm opposition here, that just doesn't fit the bill. That's not really that useful for us. I think it would be nice to come down here and potentially strike here. It might also be worthwhile to pull our tanks all into this area here, because this is flat terrain. This is where our tanks would shine. At least we could try to push up towards all this way here in the north and be a little bit more aggressive with our tanks here. So to me it would be sensible to do a shift here and shift our troops a little bit around over here. Potentially rest them up a little bit during December, because that's probably going to be a little bit worse weather, but that might be the best idea that we can do over here. Now, we would need to shuffle around a little bit anyway, but I would like to get the access to this valley over here, simply so that we have a slightly better time moving about in this direction, although ultimately we want to probably move them up this way anyway. Right, so I don't expect any attacks over here. I do expect that we're going to get rid of this infantry division here relatively quickly. I think that shouldn't really take long to clear out. I think we're going to push our infantry here to the north, fix that up a little bit with the various different brigades and divisions that we've got over here. These guys are going to try to stream north as well, but they're not going to get into contact. These guys are going to try to come over here. Now, it would be nice to sort of nibble away at their front line over here, simply because they're not really that well dug in. So I think that's a viable attack plan there. Question is, can we really try to dislodge them anywhere over here without getting into too much trouble? Well, honestly, I'm not sure whether we do really need to attack anyone specifically over here. It just doesn't quite feel right to try to push against these troops here. I mean, we only have 2 divisions that we can bring in for sure. There's a mountain division over here and a panzer division. We would have attack strength of around about 13, so we could try to attack these guys. But where would that get us? We would push them back, we couldn't move in probably. Even if we could move in, we wouldn't really result in any stronger push over here. We want to keep them unbalanced a little bit. I suppose we will try and attack here against these guys because they are not dug in yet. So that might be a good target. We should also keep an eye on some units here that might be out of fortifications, simply because they might be a good bombing target anyway. So just to deal raw damage instead of just disruption and some stuff. Yeah, well, I think we are going to probably focus on clearing out this path here. And that might be our primary target here. So that we can come around a little bit easier onto Rhodes Rome instead of going around all of this mountain via Monte Cassino, which, by the way, the Germans did not defend, so that's nice. Good, yeah. So that's probably what we're going to do here. So I'm going to put in a short break here and reorganize all of our air units, and then you guys can rejoin me just right after that. So see you in a second. Bye-bye, guys. So here we are with all of our air missions set up again. So we've basically deleted the naval patrols down here because they're really not that required anymore. I think we do have a good access here now, so that's fine. And that's all dandy, so let's focus on all of the ground attacks that we're doing. We're still doing naval patrols directly here on the beaches, just to confirm that we can bring in some supplies, and I think that's going to be alright. We are going to go ahead into the rear area and going to send the 15th US Air Force. Oh, I should actually set up a recon mission over here as well. I think I did that. I thought I did. Right, so I think it's around here. And it probably has an area of around 4. And let's briefly just confirm that, and I think that's okay. And then again check on, okay, so you're over here, you've got an area of 3, that's fine. Okay, area of 3 then. Your target priority is going to be, no, strategic, yes, and then your target priority is going to be rail yards. There we go, fine, fantastic. You're going to come here, you are going to use the lightnings, that's fine. And that basically should give us a nice opportunity here to disrupt their rail supplies in the rear of basically their front lines. And this is basically where all of their rail is coming from. And we've got some further attacks on the rail lines themselves, so not on the, so much on the rail yards, but just on the rail lines. Down here via some attack craft here. What have we got? 100. It's not the biggest deal, but it's going to be nice to have them around here. Do you really have no... Oh no, this is just light attack craft, so I don't think you need really escorts necessarily. Let's see whether that is going to be true. They have a couple of units down here, some air units that we might have attacked as well. But you know what, I think it's fine. And then we're going to attack directly some units here in these mountain passes, so that maybe at least we can break through. And we're going to send the heavier aircraft here, the bombers, into this one, because this is a little bit better fortified than this one. So yeah, I think that's basically going to be fine. And then in terms of our strategic bombardments, we're going to send a part of the US Air Force, so the B-24s, just a couple of them, we really don't have that many, but 90 aircraft here attacking the rail, the oil supplies here in Romania. Then we've got a couple of missions here into Germany. Firstly, the US Army Air Force, the 8th Air Force, is going to attack Braunschweig. You can see it's cold over here, there's light snow. I don't know how much that impacts targeting, but we'll see. You guys, you are primarily going to attack, what exactly? AFVs, some trucks, a little bit of the oil things, and some heavy industry. We're going to see just how much damage you're going to do over here. We've got the US Air Force, which is not attacking the Ruhr Valley, but slightly to the south here. We are going to attack the Düsseldorf-Wuppertal complex, the industrial complexes here. That is basically primarily, I would say, heavy industry and a little bit of manpower. Let's see whether we are going to do a lot of damage there. And the second bombardment group, so our B-24s up here in the north, are going to attack Nuremberg. That is a target that we haven't attacked yet. And that is going to go for the AFVs, I think. So against the tank yards here and against some of the truck factories that are operating in the city. But it's mostly against the tanks. And what tanks are that exactly again in Nuremberg? That is Panther Works. So you can see there are 2 factories here of 11 points each that are producing a lot of Panther. So that I think would be a very good and tempting target. Let's see whether the Germans can't use a little bit older Panzers than the Panther. Right, without further ado, let's resume the game here and execute all of our air directives, see how much damage we are going to do against them, and whether or not we're going to shoot down any aircraft. We are principally escorting everything into Germany, or at least mostly so. So I hope that we are going to make some good progress there. What are these numbers that are flashing up? I've never seen those. Huh, curious, I haven't seen those. Interesting. Is that sort of the aircrafts that we're losing? That might be. That would be kind of unfortunate. Right, let's see just how much damage we're dealing. Of course, Fighter Command, Royal Air Force Fighter Command, is also going to try to do some night missions there, some night intruder missions. Let's see how good that is going to go. So, second bombardment groups, you guys have lost 100 aircraft. Wow. And almost 230 aircraft damaged here. I mean, that's a lot of damage here against these Panther Works and the vehicle, so mission kind of successful, I would say. But at what cost? 100 aircraft against 44 on their side. How come we lost so much over here? Our air losses, mostly operational losses at this point. That's probably due to earlier air combat. There's a Liberator over here. I mean, you were escorted at least up towards over here, and then you lost your escorts, and then 24, ME 410s jumped on you. So yeah, these guys are good, unfortunately, and I think these guys did incur the operational losses that we did see there. It might have been the snow as well. We don't know exactly. But still, that's a harsh... I mean, look at this. So, when they are taking kind of closer towards the coastline, when we've got our lightnings here escorting them in force, really see that they are doing a lot of damage against these guys and are bringing down a significant number of planes here. All of these single-engine aircraft, so that is a nice attack. This one is already a little bit worse. And then it just keeps on getting worse, and we are losing 5 bombers and 6 escort aircraft here as we are over the target. So, wow, that's a very bad day here for 2nd Bombing Division on our turn here. That's really unfortunate. Why do you fly so many sorties? No, it's fine. Just of course, no, that doesn't make sense. Interesting. You see that they were taking some pictures of the AFV works on day 1, and on day 2, on day 4 they were going for the vehicles. And do we actually see that reflected in here? No, honestly, I mean, they did quite a lot of damage here against these vehicle yards in the first go around as well. I mean, 16% and then 17%, 21% on the... Maybe that is worthwhile. I don't actually know whether you're sort of photographing the whole city or just part of it. So, I don't know. Right, and then we've got 12th Tactical Command. You guys weren't losing that much, so I think we don't have to be too worried about that. Let's just see whether the interdiction missions here were going alright-ish. Yeah, you know what? I think this is okay-ish. I've seen worse, so yeah, that might be okay. Then some ground attacks here, further interdiction missions. Ooh, are you just all set to interdict? Ah, that's a pity. Right, but you see, I don't know why sometimes they have just an interdiction value of 1 in this attack, for example, here. Why only 1? It's Hurricanes, it's Typhoons, it's Airacobras. These are good airplanes. They're coming in extremely high at 18,000 feet, but I think they should drop down to basically 1,000 feet for the attacks. So why are you not doing more damage here? Why is this interdiction mission so much more successful? It does show them as being at relatively high altitude as well, so I really don't get that. I don't get that. Right. Anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, some of these interdiction missions very successful, others not so much. Might it be due to the recon? Yeah, I mean, this recon here looks much better, doesn't it? I mean, there's a hex recon of 12, 13, and down here we just, on the other one, didn't really have that much, so maybe that's why. Maybe that could be it. So we need more recon to do that effectively. Potentially one of the things that we could look at in the future. Right, nevertheless, Bomber Command down here doing ground attacks, losing very few aircraft, so that's lovely. And it seems like they're doing some damage here, so that's nice to see. Fairly happy about that. And then we've got 12... No, that's 12 Bomber Command, so that's basically it, isn't it? No, Royal Bomber... yeah, Royal Air Force Bomber Command. Okay, you guys losing 30 aircraft, enemy losing about 30 aircraft too. That is good. That is for the first time since a very long time here, actually, that these guys were doing better. And it does seem like you're doing a lot of damage here against the heavy industry in Wuppertal. A little bit against Krefeld, Monheim. This is really not worth talking about. Why do you do damage here to the fuel production? You were aiming for the manpower, mind you. Heavy industry in Wuppertal hit again. And more heavy industry again in Wuppertal. And some in Düsseldorf. So yeah, there's a fair amount of damage being dealt to these two cities here. 24 against manpower. Yeah, you guys were doing a lot of damage here. And taking reasonable losses, I would say. This is an okay ratio. I'm going to be happy about that. That's nice. And the 8th US Air Force, how did you guys do? So you were attacking Braunschweig, heavy industry here, oil production, the Stuke production. So that's nice. The Stukes here were really our most important target. But also the vehicles would have been nice to damage a little bit. Well, there's a 50% damage there, so that's nice. Yeah, fairly good result here on target. And again, just losses that are very in favor of us. So yeah, happy about that. Only 2nd Bombardment Group this time around really suffered a little bit too much. So yeah, I'm kind of okay with that. Right, let's briefly look at the overall damage here on Braunschweig. 60% on the Stuke factories, 14% on the heavy industry. Yeah, I think I can live with that. And in terms of Wuppertal and Düsseldorf, they were damaged a little bit before, but yeah, 98% damage on the heavy industry, 27 on the manpower here. And in Düsseldorf, that's 82% on the heavy industry, 40% on the manpower. These cities were hit very hard over here. Nuremberg hit by a significant margin here, I would say, on the Panther works. So remember, these percentages get doubled on the German turn. So basically 55% means that they're not going to produce anything for a little while over here. They've got basically a 100% chance of not producing anything for a while. So that's kind of nice. Interesting that they have withdrawn some of their paratroopers here. That's the first Fallschirmjäger division. I don't think we've ever seen that so far. Well, at any rate, the Germans have withdrawn, as we all know, so that is kind of nice. And I think what we're going to do, of course, is we're going to try to push back against these guys and try to capture all of this territory here. Now, let's start out here in the south, because I think these guys here are sort of obviously going to go into that direction. So, yeah, capturing a couple of depots here is nice. These harbours here will be helpful, I suppose. Although, if we are very honest about that, not tremendously so. But yeah, as you can see, just I wonder really, how can the Germans have so high strategic mobility when this is just as far as we can advance into non-hostile territory? Just doesn't make that much sense to me. But yeah, there we go, capturing more territory. Always very lovely. We've got the 5th Army here. I don't think we can grab anything with you guys, but we can at least bring you forward a little bit more. And that's fine, yeah. Good, let's get you up over there, that's alright. You guys can get over here, that's all okay-ish. Right, and you guys just sort of all try to get a little bit to the front line here, and that's fine. Good, yeah. You guys, oh, so we've got the railway repair guys over here, haven't we? Yeah, and I think that might make sense, because but the question is, which one do we want to build up? I think the one in the center is a little bit better, although these guys here have further ports down there, so ultimately it might be nice to do that too. On the other hand, I think at some point we might need to attack these guys here. So, you know what, let's try to build up this railway line here, and that should be okay. Right, you guys, that's fine. Get over here. Do start repairing this stuff. It is going to take us a while to really get all the way over there, but that's okay. Right, and then the big question is, what are we going to do here in the north of the front line, and what are we going to do here in the, well, it's not really south, it's more west. So, on the east coast of Italy, we've got a division, a reserve division that is isolated up over there. I would really like to take them out here. So, I suppose that is something that we could do. Now, the 30th Corps is probably the slightly stronger one compared to the 13th one. Nevertheless, you are already a little bit over here. Is that a good reason enough? Good enough reason? I don't know. Well, for now, I suppose it's what we need to do. Okay, so let's use this division. Let's cross towards over here. And do you know what? I think what we can do is try out a short attack over here. Okay, these guys are holding out because they've got fortifications and we are being diverted down here a little bit. We are losing some men in the process, so yeah, not the greatest attack so far, honestly. We can't do a short, well, a probing attack here, but what we could do is do a deliberate attack then. Yeah, and this time they are surrendering. They're being basically obliterated here. So 10,000 German prisoners, that's fine. and very lovely indeed. Okay, so let's get these units up over here. You're fine then over there. Okay, that's nice so far. We've got these tanks up here. We've got this unit. You're also part of that core, but ultimately we might need to mix it up a little bit. And I would like to get over here just to get rid of some of their infrastructure that they've got in this vicinity. Right, this infantry division, well, you could try to cross the mountains, but I would really like to try and attack over here. Get this valley so that we can move around over here. Yeah, I think it's the most reasonable thing to do. Right, let's have you guys loop around, I think. Well, we could get over here as well. That would at least give us theoretical access to all of this. Okay, so that's fine. We are capturing this. That means they don't have to capture it next turn. That's okay. And then really what we need to do is just bring up a couple of units into this direction here so that we can defend there. Well, we've got you. We've got the Canadians here. I would really like to push on with the Canadians because they are so well set up for this task. Yeah, and you can get over here, but really not that much further, so that probably means we'll need to leave this tank where it is for the moment. Otherwise, we are going to lose access to that side of the river here. But what we could do is at least exchange this infantry here for these tanks. So let's do that. Let's bring forward the infantry. Let's get the tanks down here then. I suppose what you guys could do is, it would cost you a couple of points to get over on this side, but I think it's still going to be the better choice here, simply because that way we can try to get them to retreat and be attacking from the same side here. That is fantastic. That is a nice result here. Can I get you to advance further? I can. Great. You can advance further into that. We've got no further unit over here, so that is a bit of an issue. And you guys, yeah, you sort of, you could get here. But I suppose we also need to guard this flank here. Well, probably this tank here is not going to move anywhere, so we can leave you here. You definitively are going to get into here. Now we could attack these guys. They don't have fortifications. It is just infantry. I think we did try to attack them anyway, so that might be okay. You could move into there, but you wouldn't be able to attack, so that is unfortunate. You could get down here, but again you couldn't attack, so it's a little bit moot. These guys over here seem to be fortified too well, so I don't think that is a viable attack plan there. How about you guys? Well, you could get down there, see? Then we might have a chance at attacking these guys. Is it really that critical this time around, though? Probably not. It would prevent them from building fortifications, and that's a nice thing, but other than that, I don't think it's something that we do need. So yeah, that's fine. So the retreat of our armoured forces here, or reshift, reconcentration on this part of the front, going a little bit slower than I would have hoped, but yeah, it is what it is. Right, okay, you guys could try to capture all that territory. Let's see, you could get over here, and I think we are going to make a push into this part here of the front line. Try to break through aggressively there. I think that's a good choice. Right, let's get you over there. We are capturing Rome. That's very, very lovely indeed. Would be nice to guard our flank here a little bit, but well, since you can't get in a position where you can attack anyway, let's try to get you on this flank here. That's fine. So yeah, that's actually bringing you closer to your command unit there as well, so that's lovely. Good. And then we've got the Indians over here. We can bring the Indians to this position. So we've got a couple of guys over here now. You guys could advance there, and you could probably go there as well. Right, okay, let's try to do a deliberate attack with these two gentlemen here. Now we can only do a hasty attack, but that's fine. Let's try to do that anyway. Okay, we are pushing them back, and most importantly we are cutting that rail line and getting into a position where it's slightly more difficult for them to try to move forward. I think we'd probably want to attack these guys here as well. Yeah, we are losing some men, and it's not ideal. We are also losing some reinforcements and stuff. But on the other hand, we are pushing forward, so yeah, happy about that. Okay, let's move you forward as well. Capture basically all of their depots that we can get a hold on, and basically try to push up here to the north, because then I think this position here is not going to work out for them either. So yeah, I'm going to be happy about that. Right, and you guys get over here. And both of you do a hasty attack, because you can't do anything else against these guys, but it is enough to force them to retreat at significant casualties for us, but still I think that's a decent way to go over here. Right, and then you guys could come over here and potentially attack again and just try to drive them back. So you'd have 6 points there. You guys, if you went over here, okay, you can't disengage from them. That's fine. You guys do need to come over here. Let's suppose I put you into this place so that you're commanding all of these guys appropriately. That's fine. And yeah, you guys are also going to move up eventually. Well, what do I say eventually? You can move up now. Yeah, so that's fine. But yeah, we're going to create a connection here. For now, this is looking like it could be outflanked a little bit, but I don't think it will be. I think it will be pretty fine. We've got another depot down here with about a significant amount of supplies, but I kind of doubt whether they will be able to get that out of the way there. By the way, how are we looking in terms of their disruption? It's fairly high over here, so that is nice to see, although it's a little bit lower down here. Yeah. Right, okay, let's see whether we can get additional units into this harbour, and if we can, then I'm going to move out a couple of the other guys. Right, so got a couple of units here that are ready. You know what, let's try to get the Americans then into position over here. I think you should be fine. I think you should be able to get off the ships. Yeah, you are, so that's fine. That does mean we can use this infantry division here of the 2nd US Corps, move you guys up to here, capture that depot, yes, and then do a hasty or deliberate attack. Well, I don't think we can move into that either way, so we're going to do a deliberate attack here, which seems like it's not going to succeed. So that is interesting. Well, that was close though, so that's slightly unfortunate. Right, I suppose you guys can move up as well though. Make more room in the harbour here. And can I move you in? Well, I think we should be able to land at least one more division down there. Okay, let's try to move in the Moroccans. Have we got anyone over here? No, you guys are just doing stuff. Fine, okay, let's move in the Moroccan Free French Infantry Division. Get you off the ships. Ooh, lovely. Okay, yeah, you can actually do that, and that's nice. Okay, and we could move out into this direction. Let's not for the moment, because I don't think it's that significant a move, and it just might be more important to guard this harbour. By the way, yeah, the port is being repaired. The rail yard is probably not that important for the moment, so I think that's fine. And then you guys can... You might be able to unload over here. So, ooh, damn it, there's a transport that has been hit, so 400 men lost. And you don't even have enough port capacity here. Okay, let's unload you here. That I think should be okay. Right, and then we are at least close-ish towards all of these units, so that's nice. I suppose I couldn't put you into Rome. And then I do need to probably assign you guys here, because you're all sort of assigned to various different, really weird, far away units. So that's not really something that we'd want to see. Right, you guys, Free French Corps, yeah, for the moment you're going to be commanded by the 2nd US Corps, and at some point I'm going to disentangle that and make it a little bit more appropriate to allocate all of these guys here. Right, you also second call, please. So you've got basically all of these units here under your command now. Well, all of these except for the British first para here, so that's fine. You're going to also be part of this front line there, and basically you're now commanding all of that. And I think that's fantastic, yeah. You can command all of that too, so yeah, I think that's lovely. You guys still being commanded from over here, that's okay, and fine indeed. All of this okay too, like it. Right, we've got another para division down here. Para brigade, sorry. You guys could move up and at least reinforce them over here. It's not the most important thing for the moment, but it would be additional units. And we've got a couple of units here. The 7th Army. Who are you actually controlling? You're controlling that. Curious. Right. You're part of the 7th Army. You're being really uncontrolled. Can I not assign you to the 5th US Army? You should be a little bit closer, shouldn't you? Yeah. There we go. Okay, now you're all even part of the same army. And that should facilitate coordination between these guys. So I think that's perfectly fine. Right, yeah. So now we've got a strong US presence here. You guys are being pushed up. You guys are still coming into play here. That's okay. You guys are slowly pushing forward from here. This core command though, well, I probably do need to move it into here, don't I? Well, how about you gentlemen? You've got no movement points left. Why have you got no movement points left? No, it's just you that I want. Yeah, okay, let's get over here. Let's build the railway across to in this direction. It's going to take a while, and we can't really fully commit to building it yet, but that's fine. The 8th British Army, you guys are going to move into there, that's fine. Yeah, and then at some point we're going to probably use these airfields here very aggressively, pushing up basically all of our light aircraft from Foggia into the Rome area, all of our medium aircraft from the Taranto area into Foggia, and then the heavy aircraft are going to be moved from Sicily towards the Brizzini area and Taranto area. And that I think should neatly lay that out and give us a little bit more access also on the oil fields in Romania, so that should be lovely. Good. So I'm going to move around a couple of our units, headquarter units and all of that, and some of the aircraft and so on, you know, the boring maintenance stuff. And then you guys are probably going to join me next time around. I think I'm going to skip the German turn because, well, they've basically set this up. I don't see them attacking anywhere where it's crucial. And even if they attack like one isolated position somewhere, we can talk about that later. So yeah, looking very much forward to seeing you guys next time around. And oh, last thing probably over here. Can you guys move forward at least a little bit? Well, I could get you over here and then sort of railway you forward. You know what? We're going to bring you over here and then sort of across this valley here and see whether we can bring you directly towards this direction instead of fighting your way through these hills. I think that's okay. Yeah, that being said, hope to see you around next time. Do leave a like and all of that, and as always, yeah, bye bye guys.